Okay, the screen record is started. This is setting up your collage lesson. So you open up Photoshop, and with Photoshop open, right now I don't have an image open, I don't have a document made. Now you need to make a document, which we have not done yet in Photoshop. So to do that, you guys need to go to the File menu and go to New. Now when you open up New, you're going to get this dialog box. Over on the right, it'll probably say Untitled 1. Highlight that and just put your last name and put Collage. So in my case, it's Rio Collage. Now for the width of it, we're going to be doing 8.5 by 11. And we're going to do it in inches. So make sure this here is in inches. We don't want it in pixels or centimeters or anything. Okay. The orientation is going to be tall. So you might want to click that first. Okay, see where the orientation is right here? You probably want to click that first. We want it tall versus wide. Okay, the width is going to be 8.5 and the height is going to be 11. So it's going to be the standard like piece of paper. The resolution of our document is going to be 200. Okay, that's 200 pixels per inch. Okay, and then our RGB color set for 16-bit. So if it's not already on 16-bit, set for 16-bit. Our background color is going to be white. If it's already on white, great. If it's not, pull down the little menu and select white. So we have your name up here. Over here, this icon probably says custom. That's what we want there. You're going to have your name, Collage here. 8.5 by 11. Make sure the orientation set there. 200 resolution pixels per inch. RGB 16. White, and then click create. Now before we go, yeah? Mine says clipboard. I don't know. After I do a screen record, I'll look at it. I'm in the middle of a screen record, so I'm not sure what that is. Okay, I'm going to go to File and do a save. Okay, I guess it's already saved. I'm surprised. Oh, maybe because I didn't add anything to it. I don't remember hitting the save on this. Maybe I did. Okay, either way, I can come back and save it later. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate two methods to put images on here. Okay, this is 8.5 by 11. I'm going to go to File and Open. Okay, I'm going to start with, I'll do my Lord of the Rings first. So I open that. Now you notice that open in another tab. We've done this already with the Neo thing. Okay, I'm going to click in the middle of this tab and drag it over to the side because I need to be able to drag this onto here. Now the first method I'm going to show you will drag the entire image on there. So this is pretty straightforward. I'm going to click over here on the Move tool. I'm going to click on the, actually I don't know if I can do it. Oh, excuse me. If I do it this way, I think I have to use a different method. I'm just, okay. I'm going to, yeah, it did work. Okay. I clicked with my Move tool in the middle of the image, and I just dragged it onto there. Now, when I dragged it onto there, it looks kind of small, but that's good, because that's probably going to be pretty close to what the image is going to be in my final edit, because I have to get 18 pictures on here. Now, you can zoom in your document anytime you want. You can press Command and do plus or minus anytime that you want. Okay? Now, right now, I have no idea where this is going to go in the final edit. So I'm going to click on my Move tool, and I can move it around around my image. Now it does have a handles on it for resizing. If it did not, I could go to Edit and Free Transform like we've done before several times. Okay, so I can hold down the Shift key. I could resize it a little bit. Right now I'm not for sure. I probably around there would be good. Okay, I'm going to hit Return. And I'm going to go down here. I don't know why the handle's not going away. I think I might have clicked on something else by accident. Okay, there. I just clicked off of it and it went away finally. Okay, now see over here where it says Layer 1? I create a new layer when I dragged it over there. The background is the solid white. Now that Layer 1, it'd be a real smart idea here for me to rename that right now. Now, I don't have to put a big fancy name. In this case, I know Lord of the Rings is LOTR. So I'm going to do LOTR. Because later when I have 18 images up here and I want to move it, it will save me a lot of time trying to find it on the layers. Okay, now right now it's selected again because I have the layer selected. So I'm going to deselect by just clicking somewhere else. There's one image. Now, when you get started, just get your image on there. You can move them around, resize them later. Now, I'm going to show you another method here. I'm going to go to File and Open, and I'm going to open up Chicago. Now, I'm going to pull the tab off. Now, this one, I'm going to use a selection. I'm going to pretend I want to crop it a little bit. In other words, I want to maybe not use so much of the water in there. Now, we don't use a crop tool. We use an elliptical marquee. What is an elliptical marquee? It's right to the right of the Move tool. It's right there. If you click on that tool, it's got 4 marquee tools. We use the top one called not elliptical. I want rectangular. Sorry about that. So the rectangular, you can make like a square or rectangle. So I click on that. I go over a Chicago picture. Now, I got a one shot at this. It's not like a crop tool with handles. In other words, if I mess it up, I have to do a deselect and start over. Okay, so I'm going to go in the top left corner. I'm going to drag this. And I'm going to select the majority of that picture, but I cropped it a little bit. Okay, now like I said, if I change my mind right now, it's not a crop tool. There's no handles. I would have to go to Select, Deselect, and Start Over, which I'm going to do because I just demonstrated that. Okay, so we use the Select menu a lot and Deselect when we change our mind. So there it is right there. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on the Move tool. I'm going to click in the middle of this. I'm going to drag it out here to my document. Let go. There it is. Right now I'm just going to move it out of the way. Whoop, I got to click on the Move tool. It says Apply the Transformation. Okay, I'm just going to hit it right now. Sometime that comes up. Don't worry about it. Whoops, it's not letting me do that. Okay, I'm going to have to deselect. I'm going to click on the Move tool. Wants me to do something there. I'm going to hit Return. Okay, there it goes finally. Now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to rename the new layer one that just created. I'm going to name that Chicago and hit Return. Then I'll know exactly where that is. I'm going to click on the Move tool, move it out of the way. I can hold down the Shift key and resize it a little bit if I want. And then I can just hit the Move. It keeps wanting to do this. I don't know why. I just click through it. And I'm going to click out of that. Okay, I don't know why it keeps bringing that up, but it does. I guess every time the layer is selected, it thinks you want to resize it. I'll do one more real quick. Then we'll go on break. I'm going to open up the Beatles right now. There's the Beatles. Okay, one last time. I pull the tab over. Now, if I don't want to crop it at all, I can just drag it. I think you guys know that. I click on the Move tool and just drag it. If I do want to crop it, I go to the rectangular marquee. Okay, in just a moment I'll take questions because I want to finish the screen record. Okay, I'm going to drag this over. I didn't crop it at all with the marquee. I let go. It says something. Ignore that. Hit yes. And resize it a little bit. And then I'm going to go down here, double click the new layer, name it Beatles, and hit Return. And then I can deselect here by just clicking somewhere else. If it asks you to apply or something, just ignore it. Now you do that. Now my first step is just get all your images on here. Don't worry that much about the layout. Then you can start moving them around. That's why naming the layers is so important. It'll save you a ton of time later when you start moving them around. Now the other thing, last thing about the layers, okay, let's say at some point I start dragging these together. Okay, so I want to move the Beatles, so I have to be on the Beatles layer to do that. So I move it. Then I want to move Lord of the Rings, so I have to click on the LOTR layer and move that. Now I'm going to purposely overlap these a little bit. Then I'm going to click on the Chicago, and I'm going to do that. Now you can tell right here, by the way I overlapped them, which one's on top of which one, correct? Okay, now let's say I want to change the order. You know, I don't want it that way. I want Lord of the Rings to be in front of all the above. All I do is go down here in the layers, I click on the Lord of the Ring layer, and I literally drag the layer up. And you see how it does that? And let's say I want Chicago above the Beatles. I drag that. Or I can decide later, oh, I want Lord of the Ring behind all three of them, so I drag it down. So you can literally drag the layers up and down. If you're doing an edit and you want the other layers out of your way, you can turn them off. by hitting the little button next to it, and then when you're ready to turn back on, you just click back in there. Okay, quick question there, Talon?
If you're dragging on a picture, you don't want it to pop a little dialog box. Press don't show again, and then.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that tip. Okay, so that's a brief introduction how to get your images on here. Do name your layers. Believe me, it will be well worth the time. And then have fun, laying it out and making it look good. Now, every now and then, go to File and do a save. Now, I've not saved this yet. It's going to be a PSD. So I'm going to save it in my Rio Collage first block folder. I can just leave the name Rio Collage, hit save, hit OK on this maximum compatibility. Now we're in good shape for this, and I'm on my way to get started here. Okay, my screen record's done. I believe I did the screen record. Okay, where's my screen? There it is.